Good morning, girls. This is Mr. Hookins, and just a reminder, I'm away today at the Youth Forum, so here is a translation for you to do. There are about 2 or 3 of you that still have to do your vocabulary. Please make sure that's done, and there will be Greek class today at around about 1 o'clock. I'm going to try and get back as soon as I can from the school that I am at in, I don't even know where it is. Okay, in Felix Dido, ubi Aeneas finem dicendi. When Aeneas makes an end of speaking, do you remember I spoke about that last time and said that it was a gerund? Omnes taciti, they all sit silently. At last, Dido, hospites dimitit, sends away the guests. Soon they are all sleeping, but Dido non potest, but Dido is not able, dormire, the infinitive, to sleep. Throughout the whole night, she volvit, she turns over, the labores, this is the rumination we were talking about last time, the sufferings, Troianorum genitive, of the Trojans in animo, in her mind. Aeneas et Trojani, Aeneas and the Trojans are very tired, post tantos labores, after so many or so much suffering. Eis placet, it is pleasing, dative, to them, manere, infinitive, to stay in Libya, and quiescere, to rest. Interea, meanwhile, Dido incipit begins, amare, to love or to fall in love with Aeneas. Amare, the infinitive there, all these words with re, meaning they are infinitives. Aeneam semper spectat. She always looks at Aeneas. Remember, as I've said to you before, if I had one question to find out if you were good at Latin, it would be a question like, or a sentence like this, Aeneam semper spectat. So the students that are good at Latin hold their position. They don't go, Aeneas is always looking. They look at it and they go, Aeneas is the accusative. I need to find out my subject, so I'll look at the verb first. Third person singular, spectat. So I need to find a nominative singular. There isn't one there, so it's contained in the verb. She always looks at Aeneas. She audit et videt. She sees and hears Aeneas even when he is absentem, away. Itaque. And so Aeneas, and then I can't even see this word because I've got my thing over there, so it's going to be something like, and neither, neque, and Aeneas, I can't see that word, and neque because my screen is too small. And Aeneas does not despise the love of Dido, does not reject, I think it's better than despise, does not reject the love of Dido. That would almost be an example of what the Romans would call laetotes, deliberate understatement. He actually encourages it. Per totam hiemem, throughout all winter, the whole of winter, manet, he stays in Libya, and he juvat, and he helps Dido, while she edificat, builds a novem, a new city. There we go. Sorry, bear with me for a second. There we go. This is a little bit better. I'm just moving my screen around a little bit so that I can see it. There we go. He helps, what was that? He helps Dido while she is building a new city. Now I can see what I'm doing. Sed rex deorum, but the king of the gods, deorum there, genitive, but the king of the gods, Jupiter, spectat, looks at Aeneas, but the king of the gods, Jupiter, spectat, looks down at Aeneas from the sky, lingering in Libya. Nice alliteration there. Lingering in Libya. Cesantem there, present participle. It's accusative. I know we haven't properly learnt that yet, but looks at Aeneas lingering in Libya. Iratus est. He is angry because Aeneas, immemor, forgetful of his destiny, immemor fati, genitive, forgetful of his destiny, manet, is remaining there. He vocat, he calls Mercury, the messenger of the gods. If you remember, Mercury was the one that had his special helmet, special winged sandals, known as Hermes in Greece. He calls down Mercury, the messenger of the gods, genitive, and he says, I nunc, go now, Mercury. You have an imperative, I, Mercury, vocative. Go now, Mercury. Fly, another imperative, fly to Libya. Order Aeneas immediately to sail to Italy. Mercury, parat, prepares to carry out the orders of his father. Patris there, genitive. Imperiat. Why is that ending with an A, even though it's accusative? Because it is neuter. Per ficere, infinitive. Good sentence that for testing. Mercury prepares to carry out the orders of his father. Into it, he puts on, there are the winged sandals I was talking about. He puts on another neuter, plural. He puts on his winged sandals, and he flies down from the sky into Libya. He finds Aeneas aedificantem, another present participle, building a citadel. Accedit, he goes up to him and he says, "Hear me, Aeneas, I am Mercury, messenger deorum of the gods. Jupiter, king of men and father of the gods, is sending me to you." Ad te should be 2 words. That's just a misprint in this translation that I'm putting on. Jupiter, the king of the gods and the king of people and father of the gods, king of men, genitive, and father of the gods, genitive, is sending me, ad te, to you. He is ordering me, dicere, to say this to you, or these things to you. Noli manere, don't linger any longer in Libya. Noli, imperative. Negative imperative, literally be unwilling to linger. Don't linger any longer in Libya. That's even better in alliteration. Statim, immediately sailed to Italy, and Conde found a new Troy. I wonder if Condé Nast comes from there. Probably not. The publishing company. Aeneas, when he videt, sees Mercury before his eyes, and he audit, and he hears the warning, Jovis, that's this irregular genitive. It's why, incidentally, if you ever hear someone saying, by Jove, it's actually wrong, because Jovis is the genitive. Literally, Jove is already the ablative, so it's a mistake, and it actually means, because the ablative, as you girls will know, means by, with, or from. It literally means by Jove, if you say by Jove. Okay, he hears, and he sees Mercury before his eyes, and he hears the warning of Jupiter. He is terrified, non potest. He is not able to neglegere, to neglect or refuse imperia. There's that neuter again, the orders, neuter plural, of the gods. He read it, he returns to his companions and orders them to parare naves, to prepare the ships. Said Dido, but Dido has learnt everything. Aeneam acessit, she sends for Aeneas, and she says, perfide, vocative there, traitor, tune, are you silently preparing, discedere, infinitive, to depart a me terra, from my ablative, from my land? Seek, do you thus despise or reject my love? Seek me reliquis, do you thus leave me morituram, doomed to die? Future participle there. Ille, he, penitus, deeply moved, says, neque amorem tuum sperno, neither do I reject your love, nor am I silently preparing to go away. Well, that's not entirely true, because he is kind of at least doing the second one. Said Jupiter ipse, but Jupiter himself, jubet me, is ordering me to make for or to seek Italy, and to condere and to found a new Troy there. Italiam non sponte peto, I do not seek Italy of my own will. Tum vero. Then indeed, ira Didonis, the anger of Dido ex ardescet, flares up, and she says, I do not hold you back. Ego te non retineo, first person singular, I am not holding you back. I nunc, go now, seek Italy, but I warn you. Poena dira, a terrible punishment awaits you. Sooner or later, either I or my descendants will exact vengeance upon you. I think that it's meant to be out ego, out posteri ultionem. Either I or sooner or later. Oh no, sorry, it's actually sero ocius out. Sooner or later, my descendants will exact ultionem, vengeance, tibi, upon you. Good question there as to what does she refer. Maybe some of you have heard about the Roman war against the Carthaginians in year 7, when you weren't building shields. You may have actually learnt that the Romans fought the Punic Wars against the Carthaginians and Hannibal, and this you could call it etiological, as in explaining kind of how the Romans and Carthaginians came to hate one another through mythology, and it's because of Dido and Aeneas and their doomed relationship. I would say that as negative a character as Aeneas can seem here, there is actually in the original, it talks about him kind of forcing back the tears as he's saying goodbye. So he's not sort of doing this in some horribly cold, sniggering way. It's actually quite tragic for him. Maybe not as tragic for him as Dido, though. Seek thus, she speaks, and she falls to the ground, ex animata, in a faint or unconscious. Have a wonderful Saturday and Friday. Don't forget, girls, I'll see you in Greek.